the ability to listen to almost anything. They cannot stop me. I will get my
Good evening, everybody. Could you please confirm if I'm audible? If yes, please put a yes in the chat. All right, I can see yeses. Yeah. Good evening once again. Thank you all for registering and attending this International Online Faculty Development Program on outcome-based education and the application of generative AI in teaching and research, organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell, the IQAC, of Carmel College Autonomous Mala, Thrissur, in association with the Collegiate Education Department, Government of Kerala. Today, we would like to welcome our resource person, Dr. Suresh Nambudri, who's the Director of SBI Technologies, Pune. And we would like to welcome all the FDP participants attending today. Now, about this FDP, this is a one-week FDP program with live sessions from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we are actually on the third day of our FDP. Now, fee for the LMS access and processing of certificate is ₹400. All the participants who have paid the processing fee will receive the LMS access, the video recording for all the days, and the provision to download your FDP completion certificate. The procedure for receiving the certificate will be informed to you towards the end of the FDP. If any of you are yet to make the payment, you can make the payment of ₹400 to the account details that I've already put in the chat. If you are unable to attend any of the live sessions, the recording will be available in the LMS. Now, we have shared LMS access details through email to those who have shared the payment proof in WhatsApp till yesterday. Those who have shared the payment proof in WhatsApp today will receive the LMS access details later in the day or by tomorrow. Now, if you have any trouble in attending the WebEx online session, you can also join the YouTube live streaming, the link of which I've already put in the chat. Now, my name is Jacob George. I'm working as Global Relations Manager for IPSA Solutions Limited, and I will be the event moderator. Now, coming on to today's session, the FDP's technical session, the topic is going to be underlying threats of OBE, generative AI in teaching. This is going to be delivered by Dr. Suresh Nambudri, who's the Director of SBI Technologies, Pune. Now, Dr. Suresh Nambudri is a product design specialist with over 30 years of industry experience, has contributed to automobiles, consumer electronics, home appliances, and telecommunications. Formerly the COO of Tata Motors, he played a key role in developing India's first car, the Indica, and has designed over 200 products, many pioneering in India. A seasoned interviewer for senior engineering and management roles, he has assessed over 12,000 candidates, driving his research into Indian engineering education. Collaborating with global industry experts and Ivy League universities, he led a pan-India ethnographic study to identify systemic challenges and solutions. Currently, as Director of SBI Technologies Pune, he mentors institutions like IITs and NITs, focusing on employability, outcome-based education, design thinking, and AI in education. A researcher, educator, and corporate consultant, he actively engages in faculty development and industry academia collaborations. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sijin, and good evening to all. Hope I am audible to you.
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay. So we have about 45 participants now. I think we will wait for a few minutes, but we will start our process by introducing what are the things we are going to do. 7 o'clock p.m. I am going to take sessions today, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I will explain to you what I will be speaking about. Today, we are going to speak about the underlying threats of OBE. What is this OBE? Why are we following this? What is that desperate need? Is it going to be another fad which comes and goes? Therefore, I am going to spend time on details about OBE and how our Bloom's taxonomy get involved into that, and how we can create actual question. Are we doing this OBE and are we using Bloom's taxonomy in the right way? I will be explaining that in detail. So one of the outcome of today's session will be, apart from the details about OBE, one important thing will be how you view Bloom's taxonomy. You will become an expert on that. And then in the later part of this session, I will be speaking about generative AI. So in the second day, that is on Tuesday, I am going to speak about pedagogical excellence by using generative AI. And on Wednesday, I will be speaking to you regarding how to use generative AI for high impact research and publication without plagiarism. So these are the 3 days. I will tell you once again, today I am going to speak about the underlying threads of OBE. Why are we going for it? It is not as a formality. It is actually it's a requirement. So second day, that is Tuesday, I am going to speak to you. Today, in the later half, I am going to speak to you about generative AI in very colloquial, understanding way. So if you are not received a good understanding about generative AI, I will explain those things to you in the later part of this program, today's program. Then on Tuesday, I am going to tell about various ways you can use generative AI for an exciting classroom. So, and Wednesday, I am going to speak to you regarding generative AI's application in high impact research and publication without plagiarism. I am not going to tell you about a list of AI tools or a menu of that. I am going to speak to you according to latest research on generative AI human symbiosis. How we can use generative AI ethical way with our own contribution. It is something like you are following task like a shepherd. So you are going to lead the generative AI, how you are going to create your research and publication. So today's for explaining explaining the underlying threads of high impact research, I will explain to you what is the ground reality. Unless we understand where we stand, we do not know how to go or why should we travel. So I am going to start our program in that way. So first, let me see now how many of our participants join. Now there are totally 58 people, and so 59. So now let us start with this. So before I start, I wanted to tell you certain things. All these 3 days, what I am going to speak is not there on internet. It is not on the textbook. So what I am going to speak to you all with our own research. All this information are with our own research, and you will not find it in any textbook or on internet. Second thing is, these are all very important and striking and exactly related to your day-to-day work, so that you can apply this even for your day-to-day work, and you may find many information from this for your research and publication. So now let us start from here. I am going to share a file from here. You would have heard that 3 days ago, Kerala government allowed private universities to establish campuses there. And Kerala is the one of the last states in India to allow private universities. I do not know because I read in the newspaper that only one state left which is not allowing private universities. Let me tell you my example. I am speaking to you from Pune. When I came to Pune in just before the year 2000, there was only one university here in Pune. That was Pune University. Now in this 2025, according to my last count, there are 22 universities here in Pune. I am speaking about Pune city or this Pune region, not even Pune district. In this Pune city metro region, we have got 22 universities and there are countless autonomous institutions. Now, there are foreign universities coming. Now, let us see that where are we going to stand? What is the competition? Already there is a big competition among these universities to get students. And what is necessary to survive or succeed in this particular competition? It is not only the competition for the universities, it is for the success of the teachers, that is faculty members of these universities and autonomous institutions. You know that there are government schemes which allows any students from taking any subject and credit from anywhere else in the country. So even if you sit, it has got a big opportunity. Even if you sit at a very remote area and there will be takers for your classes and you can become a star teacher. Earlier days, the situation was that whatever best way you teach, it used to remain within the four walls of your classroom. Now the situation is changing. You can also become somebody like a Amitabh Bachchan, Vishwanath Anand, or Ranveer Singh. Means you can also become a star in this teaching line. You are also going to be known everywhere. So therefore, the main core issue here is that how to differentiate yourself. Differentiate yourself in the sense how to differentiate yourself as an institution and how to differentiate yourself as a star faculty member. So I am going to start with the point that how to differentiate. So it is important to get differentiated. Let us start from here. Hope my video is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now just look at this video. It is a forging operation. In this forging operation, first thing is that the steel should be hot and you have to face it. You have to hit hard. You have to take once in a while and you look at the accuracy of that. This is the way in which means this is the feedback mechanism. This is the way in which we have to force differentiation. It's not an easy task. Like you are facing that heat and you are looking for the accuracy. Finding, you are identifying what is to be modified, and with that we are you are. So this is what I the differentiation. Now let's see, why should we differentiate? We need to differentiate because of certain reason. I was telling you about 22 universities here in Pune, and whoever you are, the differentiation has become a necessity. If you are not differentiating according to the time, then you are not going to exist at all. You are not going to exist. Even if you are in a permanent job, you will get sidelined. You will go to back burner, and you will not be in the important positions of the institution. Therefore, it's a necessity. And the second thing is that when you are a person, when you are a non university or a respectable university or a respectable individual, the differentiating according to the time and context is your responsibility. And third, when you are performing this differentiation well, it is a good opportunity. You take this, any of the major universities in the world, and the major and the respected teachers, they all took this challenge of differentiation, and they converted it as an opportunity. And last but not the least, you can say that those people, they really differentiate. Those people really shine. They leave a legacy. So you will see that. Now, I am very sure you all will have some batch meetings of your college, whether it is BA, BCom, BTech, MTech, MBBS, from all this. Now, who are all the people, who are all the teachers you remember? Those teachers, they differentiated, they stood out, and those people, they left a legacy. So there is no option now. You have to differentiate. And we are going to speak about what are all the ways in which we can differentiate. That means, main thing is that what is the real differentiation? What is the real differentiation? And who can do the differentiation? How can do the differentiation? Bringing Alia Bhatt to the college, is it a differentiation? Buying big marble blocks and paving it on the in the building, is it a differentiation? Building big dome on the top of the building, is it a differentiation? Or one thing, pressurizing 100 teachers to publish papers or else, whether that is a differentiation. Let us see that what is that real differentiation which will actually help students, help parents, help society, and help the country. Actually, that is what the real requirement of our country. And that is what the real requirement of education system. Right from Bible, Quran, Bhagavad Gita, to Swami Vivekananda, to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, everyone speaking about an education system. This is what actually that education system. It has to transform the students. It has to help parents. It has to make society progress, and it has to make our country powerful. If these things are not met, then this education system is of no use. Actually, we are all suffering from that. I am going to speak about those things one by one. So please listen to that. So now let us go here. Why I have written. You may ask why I have written outcome-based education like 20th century fox. It is only because of one reason. In my opinion, I am coming from industry to academics, and I spent about 40 years, and I have interviewed more than 12,000 candidates. I have designed about 160 products. I traveled to 22 countries. I worked with engineers and academicians of about 9 to 11 countries, and I am a constant observer of what is happening here. I want to tell you one thing. Outcome-based education is the last opportunity for this country to economically survive. I repeat, outcome-based education might be the last opportunity for our country to economically survive. That is the value of this outcome-based education. We cannot miss it. I am going to tell you why I believe in this and what is the reason and the logic behind this. Before that, let me speak about outcome-based education. What is real outcome-based education? This particular flowchart is based on a paper published by Dr. William G. Spady in 1988. The published paper's name is the OBE model reference. Organizing for results, OBE model reference, organizing for results. This is what the basis of authentic restructuring and reform. This is the name of the paper. You please take a photograph of this or you write it down. You can go to Google and you can search and you can get this paper. Even you can go to academia or anywhere you can get this paper. This paper is the basis of OBE. This he has written in 1988. And India is one of the last countries to go for this OBE after signing the Washington account. But in between, so much of water has flown through Ganga, and there are countries which started OBE and withdrew from OBE. They decided not to go for OBE. I will tell you those reasons and all in due course, but please look at the flowchart on the right-hand side. Here you will see a big shocking thing. Our OBE, which is shown in India, starting from program outcome, PO, CO, then it is coming down. We miss the topmost thing, exit outcome. That is the heart of OBE. That is an opportunity for any autonomous institutions and universities and teachers to show a big differentiation. First thing is the exit outcome. Exit outcome means what will be the condition or what are the knowledge of a student when he or she crosses the gate of the university or college the last time. It is above program outcome. It is exit outcome. Those who wants to really make a differentiation, please remember that OBE's main thing is not used or not taught here in India. That is exit outcome. Exit outcome is the key because exit outcome says that what should be the knowledge or condition of the student who is passing out of the university. Now I will show you here that now I will show you here what are the things we face, and I will speak about exit. Now please see this video. This is what the point I wanted to tell you. In this video, that young man is coming and proudly showing an automated new generation trolley in Hyderabad airport. If you watch that video, what is the speciality? You know what? Excepting that human being, that young man, nothing is Indian. Concept is not Indian. Manufacturing is not Indian. Individual part making is not Indian. Maybe the assembly or final putting the sticker may be Indian. And he is very proud of that. We will see that we are taking so much of pride in something owning, which only proves that our ability to spend money. There are two things. One is what money can buy. Second is what money can't buy. I repeat, what money can buy. Second, what money cannot buy. Money can buy is the thing which is actually cheaper with less effort. What money cannot buy, those are the things actually requires effort, and people value that. Now let us go ahead from here. This is a newspaper cutting I have taken a few weeks ago. You see each and every item what we have, what is there on the newspaper, which we all own, and we all spend lot of money on that. Our salary, our bonus, even our sell our property, everything to buy or own these things. Means we really crave for these items. And now, just to take one foot back and think, which of these things are actually conceived by an Indian, developed by an Indian, then we will see that these are all not done by us. Our education system is not making us to think in that line. Our education system is not making us to conceive an innovation like this. These are all coming from abroad. Somebody else is doing that. Now here, see this. This is another example. You will see that this I have taken a screenshot from Reddit. There's a Reddit group called India Tech. I have taken from there. This is a question in that India Tech group, that Apple iOS 17 versus Samsung One UI 6 versus Xiaomi Hyper OS Control Center. Who did it better? Means there is a mobile operating system from US, that is Apple. Then there is a Samsung operating system, mobile operating system from Korea. Then there is a Xiaomi operating system that is from China. And what is this? We have not developed an operating system. IIT Madras say some months ago they declared that they developed an operating system. You go and search immediately, second line, it is written that it is a modified version of Android. Means nothing original happening here. And nobody is worried about that. Nobody is worried. Why no operating system of ours? Because we need to think like that. Unless we do certain things like this, our cognitive abilities are not growing. We are actually going down. We, like Lord Macaulay, whatever he envisaged, even after 75 years of independence, we are blindly following. Are we masters or are we followers? This is what exactly I request you to go to Wikipedia and see this page, list of inventors. There are 1,300 entries of inventions, and you look for Indian. There are only 4. These 4 Indians are actually starting from Sushruta. He invented surgery. I am going to speak about that. If we are to become a developed nation by 2047, Is it enough for us? How our education system has to change? My objective of teaching or speaking about all these things are for that. What are the ways in which we need to improve? And if we don't improve, where we are going to end up? Now let us see like this. Here you are seeing a photograph of a crowd. They are not standing there to buy ration or some college admission or something to get free. They are actually standing at Bombay in front of Apple store for buying iPhone 16. Each one of them have about 1.5 lakh rupees in their pocket, because that was the price of iPhone 16, 1.5 lakh. Now you can imagine that with this one photograph alone, that particular day, Apple got about 3 to 4 crore rupees from this screenshot alone. So this is what we need to say, like that. We are craving for the products coming from outside, and nobody is craving for our product to buy our product. Nobody is craving. That is what we have to see here in the next slide. We have to see in the next slide here. India's trade. We are importing high skill, high value items like finished engineering goods, computer software, computer hardware, etc. Our exports are of low skill, low value, heavily discounted items like low-end software services, raw materials, common machinery, etc. Means we are importing high value, high skill items. We are exporting raw materials and low-end items. For example, now you all know that. Take the companies like Infosys, TCS, Cognizant, or any Wipro, any other company, software company. Last 40 years plus they are in existence. Whether they invented a software language, whether they invented any hardware, or whether they invented anything about AI, their all innovations are only to make the working faster and smarter. That means all these things are only for project management, also known as how to squeeze our people more and take more productivity. Means their innovations are only for scaling. Scaling in the sense, keep the same slavery work in the same way. They are not going up in the value chain. They are very confident that they want to remain in this way. Therefore, what is happening? Nobody is craving for their services. So, if you are seeing like that, these are all the things in which we are not inventing at all. When we go back here, this I was talking about the iPhone. Let me tell you a few more things about this. I was telling you iPhone 16 is 1.5 lakh rupees. And what is the real value of iPhone? And how our engineering is failing in that. For example, there is a material science laboratory in America purchased one new iPhone 16 and they pulverized it. Pulverized in the sense, they are a material science laboratory, they made it into powder. And this powder, they took for material evaluation. In the sense, how much aluminum, its case is aluminum, how much glass, how much copper, how much steel, how much molybdenum, how much nickel, everything involved in iPhone 16. They did the evaluation. You know what is the result of this evaluation? Total material cost of one iPhone 16 Pro is $1.1. That is about 94 rupees. 94 rupees worth item we are buying at 1.5 lakh rupees. Converting 94 rupees to 1.5 lakh rupees is the engineering. That is the value of engineering. This is what we forget. Means this almost all raw materials are there here in India. For your information, we are exporting enriched iron ore from here to China at about 40 paisa per kg. I was speaking to one deputy general manager of Kudramukh Iron Ore Company. And why are you not refining or making that steel in India? Why are you selling raw materials to an enemy country? That person was telling that we don't have the engineering ability for that. We tried, but we failed. This is what the issue. These are the real issues we really face here. Now, let me tell you about this thing, iPhone 16, one more story. Many people think that we are actually making iPhone here in India. But same time, we have to understand Vivo, Oppo, Xiaomi, plus OnePlus, none of these, do you know the history of these cell phone companies? They are selling phones like anything here in India, and they are taking crores of rupees from India to China. Do you know the history of that? They started as assemblers. They tell the foreign American and European companies that we will assemble phone for you. While assembling, they learn. While assembling, they learn the technology. Then after few years, they tell the Western companies, I will do the certain module design for you. Then those companies allow these Chinese companies to design the module, certain parts of it. Then they start telling that we will design it, we will make a component and give it to you. In this way, they climb value chain. How this climbing value chain actually happens? Because they learn. They go up in the Bloom's taxonomy. They start with that remembering, that taking and doing assembly. Then they are doing the comprehension. They are understanding the various process of that cell phone assembly. Then they are applying in the sense they understand this technology and they start applying in a different place. They learn analysis and evaluation and creation. When it comes to that creation, they are coming up with their own brand and competing with their mother, whoever was giving their technology from US and UK or Europe, and they are competing against them and becoming better. This type of learning is not happening in India. Why it is not happening in India? That is the main question. So, therefore, when we are saying like that, Apple iPhone 16 is made in India, this is the 6th phone made in India, iPhone alone. But did we learn? Tata Group is starting an iPhone factory, I heard, in Hosur. I think being an ex-Tata employee, I wanted to tell you that Tata should be designing on phone. It is not that Tata Group becoming a slave and becoming an assembler. Why such a thing is not happening here in India? That is what we have to look into the educational system. Why are we not doing this? And this is not a problem only on product development or engineering. I will show you this. Take science stream, take commerce and management, take applied sciences, take health sciences, take social sciences, take law and humanities. Everywhere we are not innovative. That means we are not going beyond the comprehension level of Bloom's taxonomy. We are any field you take. For example, you take Bollywood. You show me one original movie happening in Bollywood. India is a land of stories, but no original movie is coming. Most of the successful movies are copies of some other. Even there's a latest Malayalam movies are copies of Korean and all. Commerce management, take this one, health sciences, so social sciences, even food habits. I read that now in Pune, the most famous restaurants are Korean restaurants. Most famous, most demanding accessories are Korean. How we entered into such a situation? How we entered into such a situation? This is what we need to look into when we are speaking about education system. Some people will say that it is infrastructure. We do not have infrastructure. In that way, let me tell you, Nike is #1 shoe company in the world. They don't have an infrastructure to make shoe. Apple is the biggest electronic manufacturing, electronic design company in the world, most valuable company in the world. They do not have manufacturing setup. If we are so competitive and capable, why IITs cannot go and design and make something and like Apple doing? Why can't we do it there? Why should our IITs with such a big funding remain below 300, 500 and all, even in this time and QS ranking? These are the main issues we face here. If we are not looking into the root cause of this, then we are going to be in big problem. So now let us see like that. It is not related to one engineering or one mathematics or one philosophy or anything. You take any field, we are cognitively, we are down. And nobody is speaking about how to take us up. We are going to speak about that. Now, before that, let me show you here. This is a cutting from India Today. This is a cutting from India Today. Okay. Before that, let me tell you one more thing. That by the end of this session, at least you will be able to specifically tell what is to be improved in education and which are the places we are falling short and how your institute and yourself can do something about it. Now, this is a cutting from India Today. That is Tamil Nadu. Over 200 engineering colleges fill just 10% seats. 37 engineering colleges didn't get any admission. This is a time in which we have to say 94 rupees iPhone we are buying at 1.5 lakh rupees, and this transformation is the reason. What is the engineering is the reason for that. And in Tamil Nadu, engineering doesn't have a value, and 200 engineering colleges are getting 10% seat, 37 getting 0 admission. So this is what we have to see. What is the problem with the engineering education here? Being an engineer and being an engineering manager, I will tell you, there are 21 accepted definitions of engineering, and none of the engineering colleges in India follows any of these definitions. They are all teaching something else. They are not teaching engineering. That is the reality in this. Now let us say, what is the current reality? What type of functions can our graduates independently perform? Okay, see, See, I have spent a lot of time in foreign countries, especially in Japan, China, USA, Korea, Germany, and various European countries, UK, etc. I wanted to tell you that in those countries, there is a definition. What an 18-year-old should do, what an 21-year should do. Okay, here now let us say anyone who is graduating through our system, he or she is about 21 or 22 years. Now let us say what is the current reality? What type of functions can our graduates independently do? I am going to map that against Bloom's taxonomy. Now, this is the result of an ethnographic survey conducted across India. Means it is not at one place of India, it is across India. And interestingly, it is across India, everywhere the pattern is same. That means for the last 75 years, whatever Macaulay type of system we introduced, it got really introduced. Means or we didn't change. Those things are really seen everywhere. I will tell you that the south, it is engineering colleges in Marthandam. North, it is Jawaharlal Nehru Engineering College at Sundar Nagar, Himachal Pradesh. West, it is Government Engineering College, Puj. East, it is University College of Engineering and Technology, Dibrugarh, Assam. So these are the four extreme colleges, and in between there are more than 280 colleges, students and parents and staff members, faculty members, everyone from these many institutions. About 37,000 stakeholders participated in this survey, and this is what I am going to show you here. 94% of our graduates are confused graduates. When I say confused graduates means they do not know what to do after graduation. After studying all the purpose of a particular subject, they are not interested even in one subject of that. For example, a person who is completing 4 years BTech in mechanical engineering is not interested in even one subject of mechanical engineering. This is what the 94% of our students, our graduates. And do you know what are all the the consequence of this? These 94% of percentage graduates, they go back to their homes, they pressurize their parents for selling the house or selling the gold or taking loan or whatever for a higher studies. They do not know why they are going to. And their main objective is only one thing, to extend the student life. They are not interested in any particular subject, only to stretch their student life, show in front of society. And many of them think that anyway, for BTech, I didn't do anything. With a 2-year MTech, some magic will happen and I am going to become a great person like that. Across India, in most of the houses, these 94% of graduates are creating law and order problem. They are fighting. They are making parents cry. That is the situation out of this 94% in the Bloom's remember level. They don't even know what they know. This is a condition. Now the second layer is 3.7% are average graduates, means they can at least tell something what they learned in their engineering or graduation. And these are the type of people recruited by Infosys, Cognizant type of thing, because they can be taken to Mysore and taught something and they can be put it into job. So this is only 3.7%. Then on the top, there is 1.5%. They are in the Bloom's taxonomy apply level. These apply level students, they are the best one can get in India. They are only 1.5%. And these 1.5% people of students, many of them, they get employed or they go abroad. Even they are not staying here. Now it is coming to higher order thinking. In higher order thinking, total analyze, evaluate, and create, it is only 0.8%. That is too less for a country intellectually higher. Means we have got such a legacy, such a country like India. And at the same time, I want to call you to Wikipedia once again. There is a concept called gifted people. Gifted people in the sense, whoever, a girl dances without learning dancing, a girl doing good mathematics, like Shakuntala Devi, without even going to school. Such people are gifted people. You know, even we are chasing away gifted people. That means we are not identifying the giftedness, and we are not making them to focus on that and grow in their life. This is not happening. This is what the situation here in Bloom's taxonomy. And here, the tragedy is we are, okay, let me speak about that one, is that we are not speaking about graduate attributes at all. A student is coming to the institution to graduation for attaining graduate attributes. We do not have a consistent planned approaches to build graduate attributes. This is what we are seeing here. How does it affect OBE and graduate attributes of MBA? We will see like that in the 12 graduate attributes of MBA and the 15 graduate attributes of UGC, only 1.5% of our students actually gaining graduate attributes, because graduate attributes, we think automatically it will come to us. It is not going to come to us, come to students at all. And what is the penalty we pay? The penalty we pay is shown here. Fall in value of Indian rupee. See, you can see like that right from 1992 to onwards, we are going down. It is directly linked to two things. One is the dependency on computer hardware, dependency on microprocessor based technologies, because we are continuously importing them. Even if we claim we are making here, but the all parts are imported. And when in such a situation, our dependency on import things are more, and our dependency, our craving for the new things are more. Ultimately, our rupee fall. People say that it is a market condition and all. These are all just no. They are only washing their hands and running away from responsibility. Here, main thing is that it shows our skill, our lack of skills to create things which other people crave for. Lack of skills to create things that can attract other people, and our craving for things which are manufactured outside, and our craving for the software, our craving for the all additional gadgets. Because my understanding is that last year India spent about 1 lakh crore rupees only for importing the requirement for this accessories alone, that is chargers, cables, wires, etc., and all stands etc. Only for that we spend. Please understand one thing. I am a manufacturing engineer. To manufacture these things, we don't need a big infrastructure. We need idea. We have to understand the problems. We should have the eye to see the problem. We have to understand the opportunity. We should have the mind to solve that problem. And we have to find a solution in the form of a design. Then we will be able to make those things. But you see, across India, that particular system is not there in engineering colleges. I am going to speak more about that later. Now, just to see here, this Indian rupee falling. Who is getting affected? About 2 to 3% of Indian population, they are getting increment based on the inflation, because rupee falling is directly linked to inflation, because petrol prices are going up, every subscription is going up, every imported machinery is going up, every imported or that one licensed medicine, everything is going up. So only about 2% of the some people in India, they are getting the increment which is linked to that inflation. Rest of the people are suffering. Rest of the people are suffering. And why India government cannot prevent this? It is only because if $1 is 40 rupees, Infosys will not be there, because nobody will be there to take their low-end software services with that type of money. This is a place in which we have to understand OBE. We have to raise our levels through Bloom's taxonomy. We have to become better than applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. We should be the type of the people making Adobe Photoshop or Adobe Premiere. Why we are not able to make a DeepSeek? 2 years are over. This September, I think 2 years are over when OpenAI first released their generative AI. Then here all those we claim we are the biggest software powerhouse, but we were just keeping quiet and looking at that. And then China. So far we were all saying that Chinese low value. They only know the low value thing and they don't know software. Now just to see some of the top software companies in the world, they have taken the fight to US, that is the place of the software, and they are winning the game with their software products, whether it is ByteDance, whether it is Huawei, whether it is DeepSeek. Now DeepSeek has shown that with just $5 million, you can make such a generative AI model rigor and make it open source. After getting open source here, now we are saying like that within 10 months we are going to make our own. This is the situation. We have to understand where we are standing. Unless we understand where we are standing, we are not going to grow at all. We are not going to grow. And this is the root thing of this is actually education. That is higher education and technical education. We should be patriotic Indian like us. We have to really work on this. Then only we can actually find a solution. We cannot afford to go Indian rupee low like this. You know what? Now most people are predicting that Indian rupee will become $1 will become 100 rupee. 100 rupee in 2028. But the way in which it is falling now, I am afraid it may become in 2026, 27 itself. Unless we protect our currency is the indication of our abilities. As Indians, our collective abilities. Whatever other people say, everything is wrong. Only its main thing is this, trade imbalance. We are not able to create things which other people crave for. We are craving for the things which other people make. This is this is the reality of that. Now, I am coming to this one, OBE model. What is OBE? What is OBE? Actually envisaged by Dr. William Spady. You just see this one. You just see. The most important thing is exit outcome. He says like that, exit outcome should be originated around student placement and advancement. Exit outcome should be originated around student placement and advancement. He is not speaking about research papers of faculty members. He is not speaking about making quality in the teaching, learning, and we do it in an ulta way. He is not speaking about any of the NAC accreditation parameters here. He is very straightforward. He is telling that exit outcome is the responsibility of the institution, and the exit outcome should be originated around student placement and advancement, defined by curriculum, content, and structure, focused on instructional delivery, evaluated on student assessment and credentializing. Just to see, we are speaking about OBE, but whether any of these things are actually practiced in our institution. This is what actually OBE. I have written here on the left-hand side, what is that paper of Dr. William Spaddy. Anybody who is interested to get that paper you don't have access to, please send a message to me. I will give that paper to you. So you will understand how you can make a differentiation and how you can save our students. Don't complain that students are entering to classroom because our classrooms are not focused for students. Don't blame that students are not submitting assignments. I go to various institutions across India. I wanted to tell you that one common thing, every faculty member across all universities are saying that now students are not entering the classroom. They are coming to the campus, but they are not entering. I was speaking to one vice chancellor in Kerala state. He was very coolly telling that, hey, students won't do. Because unless we make the system suitable for students, why should they are also intelligent? They are more intelligent than many of us. And why should they do? When they don't see a result, why should they do? So this is what the real exit outcome of OBE. This is what the real OBE. Now let us see like that. Now, what is the Indian educational system? When we are seeing from that OBE point of view, you will see that Indian educational system assumes that every student is going to become a researcher. Every student is going to become a researcher. At the same time, even in top industrialized research-based countries, the research employment is maximum 1%. And if we declare that our all students are going to become researcher, we are going to put question paper according to research. We are going to make even every final year student to make research. Then it is not going to happen at all. Every student is going to become researcher. However, the prerequisite to become a researcher is not taught at all. I am going to coming to that. How to become an active researcher is not taught in our system. I am going to speak about that. My main objective is how to attain true OBE, how to become a good teacher, how to become a star teacher, how to become a teacher who has got a place in the heart of your students even after 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. See, you can see my hair. It's a white. It's not even gray. It's a white color. Even we have got batch meetings. Even now, when we all gray-haired people meet, we speak about our previous teachers, certain incidents in the class, how a teacher handled it. These are all the things. So you can, but these are not every teacher. There are certain teachers. So this, but you can become that teacher. So here, the thing is that Indian education system assumes that every student is going to become a researcher. At the same time, a thoughtful implementation of OBE, if it is in a proper way, can ensure students become active researchers and lifelong learners and become ready for quality employment. I repeat, if thoughtful implementation of OBE can ensure students become active researchers and lifelong learners and become ready for quality employment. We have got a website called i-max.org. In that first we say quality first, attainment calculations last. I repeat, quality first, attainment calculations last. This is what Dr. William Spady said. You build quality first. Let research be about the quality of education. Let the discussion be about how I could raise a student of that particular situation. So, another thing, building employability skills are not about training students for employability test. You know, in our educational institutions, employability is a bad word. Research is a good word. Actually, research is also a quality employability. Employability means a student can be used for some creative and good purposes. So employability doesn't mean that students are taught for some employability test by an outside company. They come and conduct some 3-4 mock tests and all. It is not the thing. At the same time, there are certain companies, they come and say that we conduct Infosys type test, TCS type of test. Infosys, TCS and all doing only Bloom's lower levels of taxonomy job. If that is your high jump level, then your college is not going to improve at all. Because they are not inventors. They have not developed anything new. They are only hourly rate companies. And if we are going to make their requirement as our final requirement, where are our students going to learn? How are they going to grow through the Bloom's taxonomy? So here our question is, employability skills are the professional aspects of graduate attributes in OBE. Employability skills are the professional aspects of graduate attributes in outcome-based education. The key question is how to attain graduate attributes. UGC has got 15 graduate attributes. AICT has got 12 graduate attributes. How are we going to attain that? How are we going to attain that? Just by putting some Bloom's verb question paper, questions on the question paper. Are we going to raise our students to graduate attributes? This is the question. This is a question every autonomous institution, universities, every teacher should think. Every teacher should think. Otherwise, we are going to be in problem. If you have to show a differentiation, this is what actually we are meant to. If you have to meet the educational objectives set by Swami Vivekananda or by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, this is what actually we must be doing. Now let me see. I am not here to speak a lot of this negative thing, but I have to make sure that you are understanding exactly what is our reality and what is the challenge ahead. What is the challenge ahead? This is what. Now, to reach that developed country dream, 2047, it is only 22 years more. Only 22 years more. Unless we start certain very revolutionary things now, 2047, we are not going to reach anything. We are not going to improve. At the same time, now you see here, there is any campus you go, there is the entrepreneurship cell, center of excellence. There are various cells and things like that. They all conduct some program. But where is the entrepreneurship? Which is a successful startup? The tragedy is that even our IITs, NITs do not have a good, successful, original startup to show. They are all copied from somewhere and they are showing it as something new. All public relation exercise. One day, once when I was flying from Europe to India, one person was sitting next to me and I was reading some education related books and also so when it is a long flight, after a few hours of flight, he inquired me, what are you doing? I told that I was working with the Tata Group. I was a car designer and I was a chief operating officer. And one fine day, by seeing the condition of education of India, I decided to return back to the society society in a meaningful way. I resigned my job and I started this thing. He asked me one thing. Just listen. He told me that why can't Indians solve India's problems? Why can't Indians solve India's problems? India has got lakhs of problems. If Indians start solving India's problems, next 100 years, Nobel Prize won't go out of India. This is what he said. If you see like that, you go and see all institutions of national importance. What is the research they are doing? Is it a research they are doing about the problems of India? Even though they are living with the taxpayers' money of India, whether they are doing any research about the problems of India. Or another thing, whether they know what are the problems faced by the patriotic Indians here. Because in Bloom's taxonomy has got 3 domains, that is cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Unless we understand the affective domain, we do not have that ability to understand other person's problem. If we have to do a product development, we have to understand other person's problem, and this product feature will be as a solution to that person's problem. When we do not have that ability to understand other problem, because we do not understand emotion. Why we do not understand emotion? Because we don't learn language. We are coming through a system where the parents will tell us that don't waste your time to learn language, you learn science. Without understanding the emotion and without understanding the affective nature of a language, whatever technical skills we learn, it will only meet Lord Macaulay's philosophy. And even in engineering education, we give the question paper in such a way that write some points here and there, you will get a full mark for that. Means there is no need of a language. Now let us come back to this. Here I was talking about, go to any university or institution, you will see entrepreneurship cells. Without any entrepreneurship, you will see centers of excellence. They are not delivering any excellence. You will see many startup club, many centers like that, but they are not giving any result. Why? Most of them are teaching how to form company, how to get funds, these are all the things. Why don't we understand that if a person has got the ability to develop a new technology or a new idea, that person will just take you an Uber, Ola or Auto and go to a chartered accountant and will tell tell that person to form a company. Why should he learn how to form a company? Our main problem is our students are not getting ideas. Our students are not getting ideas, startup ideas. I will tell you my own example. In 7 NITs, I tell 7 NITs, in front of final year BTech students, we offered 1 lakh rupees to the person who is coming up and telling a new feature for Instagram. They are all users of Instagram for the last 5-6 years. Just to suggest one good new feature for Instagram, we didn't get any response at all. But within few weeks, Instagram comes up with new features. Our main problem is, similarly, once I went to IIT Madras, they had a big tech show. There are many things with so much of all technical high-end things. What I did, there were few more people with me. We went to each booth and asked, okay, what did you buy? What did you do on this? What did you buy? Then it is very clear that all those equipments and everything is bought. What did you do? Some programming for that. This is what everywhere, making a glittery of taxpayers' money, and we are not able to. We are not able to do. This is what I was telling you, that what money can buy, what money cannot buy. So if China, they made DeepSeek, this is one thing that money cannot buy. If I am saying like that, if you see that in any city in India we go, we see metros. Do you know that metro making, my understanding is about uh, some 1 kilometer of metro costs some 150 crore rupees. This is the expenditure of metro. But China made the DeepSeek with 40 crore. China, that means it is not the money. It is not the physical infrastructure. It is the mental infrastructure. Mental infrastructure, how are we developing in our system? I am going to speak about that one here. We are going to speak about the pedagogical excellence. We know that Bloom's taxonomy, there are three. One is cognitive, that is remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. Then there is affective taxonomy, affective domain, that is receive, respond, value, organize, characterize. Then there is psychomotor, imitation, manipulation, precision, articulation, naturalization. And the three domain imperative. There are various studies which says like that, for the new economy that is post-generative AI, we need to combine all three domains. Now, I am going to come back later, but let me speak to you something else. See here, one girl. It came on NDTV. And she went to Canada and she publicly told there in the TV that it was her dream to leave India. Now, I am coming to a very, very important point for one by one. I am going to speak to you some very important points here. Why foreign university syllabi don't produce the same results in India? I have seen, okay, what you are seeing is a Harvard University, and you will see like that in India, there are many, many universities. They all claim that they are using the syllabus of, in this era of internet and available, everything available to everyone, taking, copying a syllabus of a foreign university and putting it here is not at all a big issue. Anyone can do that. But why it is not giving the same result here in India? I will come back to this one. It is about the revised Bloom's taxonomy. Now, when we are speaking about Bloom's taxonomy, I wanted to tell you that I came to know about Bloom's taxonomy in 2006. It is only it is not that I attended any program on Bloom's taxonomy. I felt the need to understand. With my own research, I went and I found Bloom's taxonomy in 2005, 2006. I will tell you certain very important thing about Bloom's taxonomy. You know why in 1956, Dr. Benjamin Bloom's committee, they submitted this report? Because even though Bloom's taxonomy in a different name, it was a taxonomy published in a psychological conference in 1948 in Chicago. Means whatever this taxonomy is not made by Bloom, it's a psychological report, cognitive psychological report. It was submitted as a paper in a psychologist conference in Chicago in 1948. And in 1954, American government realized that America is getting defeated in innovation, in technological advancement, etc., by Japanese, by China, by Russians, and by Germans, UK, Canada, etc. So they constituted a committee. American president constituted a committee with Dr. Benjamin Bloom as the head to submit a report. You know, in 2 years' time, they submitted a report. Means the report is for how the education system should be changed, so that America will retain the superiority. So this is a report for America to retain the economic and technological superiority. This Bloom's taxonomy is part of that report submitted to American government. And based on this, in 1958, please listen this. In 1956, this Benjamin Bloom's taxonomy and this report was submitted to government to how American economy and innovativeness can be retained before Germany, UK, Japan, Russia, etc. And in 1958, America introduced a new educational act in 1958. Based on this, do you know what was the name of that act? American Defense Education Act. American Defense Education Act. Don't think that it is related to defense. Americans felt that education is the biggest defense of America. That is the thing they gave the Americans Defense Education Act 1958. This is the clear. Two things I wanted to tell you here is that first thing, Bloom's taxonomy is not for setting question paper. Bloom's taxonomy is the biggest, that is a transformatory things for a country's economy and innovative nature. That is what the 1956 Bloom's taxonomy is, and 1958 American Defense Education Act is. And now I will tell you one thing. For that economy, that Bloom's taxonomy was enough. I repeat, for the 1950s economy and whatever they could see from there, that in 1956 Bloom's taxonomy was enough. But the time got changed. When it came to 1980s and 90s, the information technology started gaining momentum. Information technology started, and even to that level of automation started coming to the fore. Automation in the sense, which are all the things which are rule-based. Rule-based or system-based could be made to automate. Therefore, what happened exactly is that which are all the things which can be computerized and automated. Those jobs should use to change from human to a machine. That means by 1980s and 90s, many of the jobs that is in the lower levels of Bloom's taxonomy got converted to machines. So there was a requirement of retaining the superiority of human beings. In what way human beings can retain superiority? That is the reason in 2000 this Bloom's taxonomy got revised. That is Krathwohl and Anderson. Krathwohl and Anderson, they were part of that original team also. They took initiative and they changed this thing to revised Bloom's taxonomy. Revised Bloom's taxonomy is not that someone immediately got some fine spark in the brain and thought. This was the economical and societal and anthropological reason for revised Bloom's taxonomy, because to retain human superiority. And what are the things they did? In India, what we taught is like this. I really get frustrated by seeing that. In India, in Bloom's taxonomy, it is taught that the difference between 1956 and Bloom's taxonomy and 2001 revised Bloom's taxonomy is knowledge become remember, and synthesis evaluation got changed and evaluate and create. This is what the difference. No, That is not the difference. The differences are greater. Differences are meant for meeting the automation challenge, information technology challenge. The reasons are to meet, to take it human beings to a higher order. That was the purpose of 2001's revised Bloom's taxonomy. I am going to show you here. They have done two things. One is knowledge cannot be made as a common. There are different levels of knowledge. We also call depth of knowledge. So we cannot use knowledge in one way. There is a depth of knowledge. Therefore, this knowledge made to four, that is factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, procedural knowledge. If you see 1956 Bloom's taxonomy, these are the only three levels of knowledge if you are taking. But in 2001 revised Bloom's taxonomy, they introduced one more knowledge dimension, metacognitive. Metacognitive is the most important knowledge dimension. That is thinking about thinking. Entire research is happening in the metacognitive knowledge dimension that we are not speaking in our entire education system itself. No wonder we are not getting original research, even though we are number 2 total research in quantity, not in quality. So this is what actually happening here. On the right hand side, you will see that remembering, comprehending, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating, and it has got 4 levels everywhere. Now let us go to the next one. Before that, I wanted to tell you that even we are in a system, even the top people sitting in education, they do not know Bloom's taxonomy. They can't even say like that at what level this education is. They are all get entangled into attainment calculation. They are all into the administrative thing. We are not speaking about that quality at all. What is actually education? Now you see here, I have taken a photograph from Times of India. Armed with knowledge, quizards from 32,000 schools shatter barriers. Whether answering quiz, is it a knowledge? Answering quiz, is it a knowledge? Today's Times of India, I was reading. One person, he memorized so many things and he is a brilliant person. Is it a knowledge? Memorizing, is it a knowledge? In 2025, that is you just see like this. After 1956, Bloom's taxonomy is first. Now we are in 2025. Even 2025, most of our people, they believe that becoming first in spell bee is intelligence. Getting first prize in quiz is intelligence. This is what. Then what is that real intelligence? Let me show you here. I am taking here this revised Bloom's taxonomy. That is means what exactly is revised Bloom's taxonomy. I will show you here. On the vertical axis, it is Bloom's taxonomy is remembering, comprehending, applying, analyzing, evaluating, creating. And on the horizontal axis, you will see factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, procedural knowledge, metacognitive knowledge. That is, metacognitive knowledge is the highest level of understanding one's cognitive abilities and strategies. It is crucial for advancing research and creating new knowledge. This knowledge enables researchers to reflect on, manage, and optimize their cognitive process effectively. These are all its key elements: strategic knowledge, knowledge about cognitive tasks, contextual knowledge, conditional knowledge, self-knowledge. When you are seeing that metacognitive knowledge, you will see factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, procedural knowledges are low-level knowledges. And now let me tell you here. Remember factual, it is recite or list. Remember conceptual, it is recognize what you already know. Remember procedural, recall your existing experiences. Comprehend factual, it is summarize the meaning of content process. Comprehend conceptual, classify your comprehension by answering complex questions, comprehend procedural, demonstrate knowledge, skill, control, and understanding, apply factual, employ the non-practices, concept, techniques, etc., apply conceptual, provide the range of ideas, approaches, and apply procedural, carry out, or perform processes, experiments. In this way, you will see that what are all the ways in which how we are growing. Means I wanted to show you this metacognitive. Remember, metacognitive is identify your taste and preferences, answer tasks to show own thoughts and opinion. Comprehend metacognitive. Understand that there are different ways of responding to a problem, situation, or task. Apply metacognitive. Use your abilities and skills appropriately, take risk, overcome failure, learn new things. Analyze metacognitive. Separate and select information relevant for the successful outcome. Evaluate metacognitive. Decide the most favored action from your own preferences, taste, experiences, etc. Create metacognitive. That is the create. Now, let me show you here. On the left-hand side, metacognitive racing through Bloom's taxonomy. Rest of the thing, factual, conceptual, procedural, racing through Bloom's taxonomy. The objective of education is to raise students through Bloom's taxonomy. I repeat, the objective of education, whatever Swami Vivekananda said, whatever Socrates said, whatever Plato said, whatever Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam said, whatever NEP 2020 wants to do, everything is, if you are bringing to Bloom's taxonomy, to raise the students through the levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom's taxonomy is not a matrix to set to question paper. Bloom's taxonomy is not a matrix to set to question paper. Bloom's taxonomy is question paper style of taking the Bloom's verb and putting to a question paper is the anti-national activity one can do. Means Bloom's verb of it is not the verb, it is the spirit behind it. If you see Bloom's verb, they are repeating in various levels. Why are they repeating? Repeating because in that level, the meaning of that Bloom's verb is different. I see that with the Bloom's lowest level of remembering, putting a create wording and say, considering that that is a question paper from create. Bloom's taxonomy's Bloom verbs are actually coming from 1956 Bloom's taxonomy. That is actually coming from another economic situation. That is actually coming from an era where information technology was not known to everyone. It was not popular. We are speaking about a Bloom's taxonomy here that is post 2000. That has actually taken care of at least repetitive works, automation, and information technologies interference with education, business, and employment. Therefore, this is what the Bloom's taxonomy, revised Bloom's taxonomy of 2000 beginning by taking care of automation. Now, I am going to speak about the situation where it is before generative AI. It is before generative AI. Now the major question is, this is the point I wanted to tell you here. Even if you forget me, even if you forget whatever I said, you please don't forget what I am going to tell now. I repeat, even if you forget the entire session, even if you forget my face, you don't forget what I am going to tell now. This is what the point is. Bloom's taxonomy is not for setting question paper. Bloom's taxonomy is actually a level of attainment. Education's purpose is to raise the level, raise students through these attainments. When a student actually coming to your class, he or she may be in the remembering factual, means the lowest in knowledge dimension and lowest in cognitive process dimension. That is remember factual, recite. From there, you have to take the students up. What are the things to be done for that? I am going to speak about that. I am leaving many things because this is my 2 days faculty development program. I am speaking in 2 hours. Therefore, I am skipping many things, but I am making sure that I am communicating the gist of this. See, here you are in the previous one, how to raise our students through Bloom's taxonomy. That is what I am going to the 1956 Bloom's taxonomy, where this Bloom's verbs are written. I will show you this thing here and then I will show you later. The only way to take students from remembering to the understanding level. Now people will ask whether in industrialized nations, where in countries where they design make you original designs like an Apple iPhone, the countries where they develop Photoshops and Adobe Premiere, the countries where they develop computer languages and packages and web apps. In those countries, whether the 50% of the people are creative? No. 50% of the people are not creative. That is impossible to happen. But I have first-hand information about this. I will tell you. Here we have shown that 94% of our Indian students are confused graduates are in the Bloom's remembering level. In advanced countries, they are only 40 to 45%. When it is coming to the understanding level, that is the next level, it is not 3.7%. They have about 20-25% in this level. Then when it is coming to the applying level, they have about 20 to 25% in that. And when it comes to the higher order thinking, in countries like USA, Japan, UK, Germany, etc., they have about 12 to 14%. 12 to 14% of their graduates are higher order thinking people. We are only 0.8%. This is what the requirement, unless we change. That means we need to push our students from remembering level to the understanding level to the apply level to the higher order thinking level. This is what the requirement of education here. Now, for that, what to do? I went everywhere, spoken to various people. What to do? What are you doing for that? Do you know one important thing? Even though this is the purpose of education, there is no system in India. AICT doesn't have a system. UGC doesn't have a system how to do this. I am going to speak about that so that you can do the differentiation. First thing here is that if you want to take your students from the remembering level to understanding level, the basic requirement is language for comprehension or literacy for constructing insights. Unless they construct their own insight, constructivism is a learning theory. I will speak to you that one later. Unless they have the construct insights, they are not going to be able to understand. For your kind information, I will tell you that I have seen in various universities, if you give a standard textbook to students, their reading speed is 1.5 pages per hour. 1.5 page per hour is the reading speed of many, about 30 to 40% of students, even in institutions of national importance. Do you know the consequence of that? Now, recently there was a prime minister said that 13,000 scientific journals are going to be available for our educational system. Now the system is like this. How many of our people, how many of our people have the ability to read and understand that? This is what the value of language. This is what the language or this is what the value of literacy. Another important point also I wanted to tell you that in generative AI, I am going to speak about that now on Tuesday. Generative AI, the most important ability is the ability to prompt. Ability to prompt. Based on your prompting, comma, prompting phrasal verb, co-prompting idioms and phrases, your imagination, how you prompt, what you are getting from generative AI will change. If you are not able to prompt properly, you cannot use generative AI. You cannot. For that prompting, what is the most important thing is the language. That means the language is going to be the major impediment for we Indians to use generative AI properly. This is what an important thing here. Language for comprehension or literacy for constructing insight. Now, to take students from understanding to applying, it is critical and creative thinking. This critical and creative thinking, it is there in every educational policy, right from Kothari Commission to NEP 2020, critical thinking is there. But I have not seen this in any of the syllabuses of Indian universities, critical and creative thinking. So this is now the next is, it is idea exposure and world view. We see that in India there are many people with a PhD, but even inside their domain, they don't have idea exposure. They don't know what are the ways in which this can be applied. This combines with their inability to understand other person's problem. This make these PhD or doctorate people useless. The only person who has got advantage of their paper publication that is useless and their PhD that is useless ultimately is that individual only. And the people who this person guides, they are also going to get suffered, or they are also going to commit suicide. So here the point is, next is idea exposure and worldview. Now, as I was telling, my objective, I am a patriotic Indian. I am here sitting at this age and speaking to you because the objective of improvement. I repeat, this type of an effort to raise students through Bloom's taxonomy is not done in our system. That is the reason I represent a team of about 200 highly qualified people. We have developed a platform called Bloom's OBE Lab. Bloom's OBE Lab. In Bloom's OBE Lab, through about 80 individual modules, it is called IMAX Bloom's OBE Lab. Through about 80 modules that runs parallelly to the educational system, it builds language for constructing this thing, literacy for constructing insights, critical and creative thinking. We have got critical and creative thinking for mechanical engineering, critical and creative thinking for electronics and telecommunication engineering, critical and creative thinking for information technology, critical and creative thinking for biology, zoology, etc. Because unless we have critical and creative thinking, we are not going to do anything. Even in our research methodology syllabus, critical and creative thinking is not there. Without critical and creative thinking, no one can do any research. So this is what we developed a platform for that. It is to be spread. It is to be spread everywhere. That is what how to raise students through Bloom's taxonomy. Before going further, let me ask you an interesting thing. You know there is an examination called IELTS. What is that examination? IELTS. Many people think IELTS is an English examination. No. IELTS is a Bloom's taxonomy examination. And IELTS is the secret of foreign universities. IELTS is the secret of foreign universities. They make sure that they are getting students of higher levels of Bloom's taxonomy as students for master's degree. Because it has got listening, reading, writing, speaking. In listening, it is not a listening test. They are not saying like that, New Delhi is the capital of India and the question will come, which city is the capital of India? No. They make you to listen, infer, do analysis, evaluation, and ask a question where you have to use your creative power to write. Same thing in reading. Same thing in writing. In writing, it is more rigorous. They give you a theme and you have to write about 250 word essay on that. Essay means what? You are doing content creation based on a particular subject. And the same thing when it is coming to speaking. Speaking is actually, even they are testing your, even the complete cognitive abilities because there is only one skill, which is a combination of all three domains of Bloom's taxonomy. That is speaking. That is speaking is the combination of the top levels of cognitive, create, affective characterization, psychomotor, non-discursive communication. All three combining, it is for speaking. So therefore IELTS is the examination which is a Bloom's taxonomy examination. That is the secret of foreign universities. Now see here. Now see here, all this blue, when a student enters, he or she is in the recital list, remember factual. If they have to grow further, they should have language to reach till this level. From there, this yellow level, if they have to reach, they should have critical and creative thinking. For reaching the pink level, they should have idea exposure and worldview. Unless we go through this, we are not going to reach anywhere. Okay, now this is a theory. This is a theory of this young man. This young man always look young because he died at the age of 38. His learning theory is applied across the world. I am telling across the world. Means right from Canada, Mexico to Brazil, America to North Korea, Japan, New Zealand. His learning theories are used. But I wanted to tell you that not in India. You go and ask anybody here in India, they won't even speak about social cognitive constructivism. They won't speak. They won't speak the name of Lev Vygotsky because even the biggest educationalists here, they do not know. I do not know how our system and where it is going because you go only out of curiosity. You ask another means your peer. Which is a learning theory are we using? And you just to see whether you are getting a response or not. There are key learning theories because learning process is the most complicated process. To make somebody else learn is a very complicated process. Actually, I did a lot of research on that. I have created 2 publications. Actually, they are already taken by some Q1 publishers. I have taken the copyright for that. Means whatever you have seen here, that is 3 requirements. It is actually the result of my research. So this is the Vygotsky's theorem. So now I am coming to this, that these are the 3 things requirement if we have to develop, if we have to reach the, if we have to attain the requirements of OBE, and if you have to become good in any of the thing in front of parents, if you have to become good for students and to build a good society and nation, these are the 3 key things. First, language for comprehension or the literacy for constructing insights. It will take students from the lowest level of Bloom's taxonomy to that means from remembering to understanding level. From understanding level to the apply level, we need critical and creative thinking. From apply level to higher order thinking, we need idea exposure and worldview. These are the 3 basic requirements. If we don't achieve, or if we don't perform, if we don't get these three key fundamental attributes, we are not going to attain any of the graduate attributes. Now there are 9 minutes left. Now, any questions? I will clarify this, and if there is time, I will go further. Please let me know any clarification. Any questions on this? Okay, time being, what I am going to do, I am going to stop this, stop my slides so that we are into the main screen. Please let me know anyone has got any comments on this.
If any of you have any questions to Dr. Suresh Nambudiri, please put it in the chat. Sir will answer it.
Any questions?
Nobody has put any questions, sir.
Okay. On
They have complimented your presentation. That's it.
on YouTube also?
Let me check. There's a question like this: how to achieve the level of attainment in design domain?
How to?
How to achieve the level of attainment in design domain?
I think this will be taken by Dr. Mendes Jacob on Monday. See this. See, briefly, I will tell you about this, but this will be taken by Dr. Mendes Jacob on Monday. But in the design domain, how to achieve the level of attainment? See, for me, according to the 3 steps what we were speaking here, it is how to raise students through Bloom's taxonomy in design domain. Briefly, I can tell like this. See, when you are speaking about raising students from the remembering stage to understanding stage, here we need to understand it is not only the verbal, that is a literary vocabulary, there is a visual vocabulary. Because I myself being a designer, I will tell you there is a visual vocabulary, and we must be following the principles of design thinking. Because design thinking, as we were speaking about Bloom's second domain, that is affective domain. This we can compare in the design thinking the level called empathy. So level called empathy, because unless we understand a requirement, we are not going to design anything for that. I have seen many design, those designs and all not meeting any of the characteristics or criteria for a creativity. For creativity. So it is important that when a student in the design, when he or she grows cognitively, they need to develop the language and literacy to understand the requirement of the prospective customer and the society. Then this is the visual vocabulary. They need to increase their vocabulary. Then critical and creative thinking. This critical and creative thinking balancing, because if somebody is only rational, they are only critical, they will never make something. For example, let us take the example of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was a combination of critical thinker and creative thinker. That is the reason all Apple products, they have a taste, they have a style. And how they blended these two. For blending these two, as a teacher in design domain, the one great thing what you can do is that give maximum exposure, various things, ideas, and do discussions on that. So therefore you reach through analysis, evaluation, and then you are leaving your students for creation. I hope this explanation is fine. Exactly how to match is you can raise the rigor of the questions. You can raise the rigor of explanations. I hope I explained. I hope Nisha Kandekar madam got the response. Okay, Sneha madam's question, how can we apply it in medical science? See, in medical science, you know that in the case of anatomy, physiology, means what you actually do is the first level to take students from this remembering level to the understanding level. You know, maximum what you need to give is the vocabulary. You know that you are teaching all the names and you are relating that with what is the function of that. In this way, you are building the vocabulary. Always it is better to give a vocabulary and make students getting familiar with that, and then never tell them to learn by heart, because one should learn through that understanding through critical thinking. Means they should be able to relate with something. You know how this knowledge is built in the brain. It is with the chain of this neuron buildup. This neuron buildup means we are associating one new knowledge with an existing knowledge. So when you build, help them build in that way, then take to the creative level. Any more question? See, now Dr. Rema's question. There's a transformation should take place from the bottom level. See, I come from industry, I worked in academics. One thing I wanted to tell you, teachers may think that they have got less influence, but they have got more influence. See, when you are inside the class, you are the king or queen of the class. You can apply these certain things in the class. So the most important thing nowadays is that in this world of WhatsApp and Instagram and social media, important thing is teacher should be the marketeer of that domain. So when the teacher speaks about interesting things, when teacher takes students in this way, the rest of the thing reading the students will do. So it is within a teacher need not look for the permission of an institution or a syllabus for that. You can take your teaching style, and that you have got the academic freedom. Yes, whatever Dr. Mini Madam said is correct. We are pretending. So it looks like there are no more questions. So my next session is on Tuesday. And thanks everyone for your participation.
Thank you, Dr. Suresh Nambudiri, for that wonderful session. I think now we will move on next to the vote of thanks. The vote of thanks is going to be delivered by Ms. Christina Wilson, who's the IQAC member and head, Department of Accounting and Taxation, Carmel College Autonomous. Over to you, ma'am. Ms. Christina, I think you're on mute. Could you please unmute?
Hello, sir. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, sir. Good evening, everyone. I have gratitude International Online Faculty Development Program on outcome-based education and application of generative AI in teaching a resounding success. I am deeply grateful to Dr. Suresh Nambudri for his enlightening section on the underlying threats of OBE, generative AI in teaching. Your expertise insights have been invaluable to us. Thank you, sir. I express my sincere gratitude to Sister Rini Raphael, Principal, and Ms. Mary Philip, IQAC Coordinator, Carmel College Autonomous Mala, for their tireless efforts in organizing this program. I am grateful to the college education and support. I also thank IPSR Solutions for their technical expertise and support. Finally, I thank all the participants for their active participation. And thank you once again, and I wish you all good night.
Thank you, Ms. Christina, for the word of thanks. We will end the session for today. Next session will be on Monday, and our session will be on mapping of outcomes, calculation of attainment, and analytical reports, ICU tools for OBE. That will be taken by Dr. Mendes Jacob. It will be at night. It will start at 7 p.m. Please join in on time. And we will have Dr. Suresh Nambudri's session again on Tuesday. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your time. Thank you for attending the session. We will see you on Monday at 7 p.m. Have a pleasant evening and a good weekend. Thank you all.